Welcome, everyone, to the 12 News Class of 2021 special. I'm Tram Mai. We want to look back at the school year unlike any other and how it has forever changed the lives of the students, teachers, and parents who went through it. As we look back on the past year, there's no doubt the pandemic took a toll on high school seniors who missed out on so many irreplaceable moments like prom, homecoming, sports, and even college tours. I sat down with a group of seniors to find out what they missed the most and how this year made them stronger. Meet Dante Hainsworth, Elise Melke, Anthony Ament, and Mackenzie Barella, all graduating high school seniors from the class of 2021. Looking back on this past year in one sentence, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as just crazy.
What's happening? It was just a learning experience all around for everybody.
We missed out on a lot of things that we will never ever really get to experience ever.
And that was my next question. What did you miss the most about your senior year, Anthony?
I missed all the school events, having an audience at football games. It's just wasn't the same.
I feel like the school spirit just went down.
I think I missed out on a lot of college exploration stuff.
Was there ever a time where you felt depressed?
Yeah, honestly, there's definitely a bunch of moments where I'd be sitting there in class on my computer and it's just like, I have no motivation to do any of it.
I was just in my room doing my homework, doing my work, not being able to communicate and see my friends, which is something I looked forward to every day.
So I'm wondering, in all of this struggle and challenge and hardship, what got you through?
I would say football and just staying busy working out kept me getting through it because it was just, that would take up a huge portion of my day.
Being able to see old teammates, even though with social distancing involved, it gave me something to progress to do through that time, and also family, and I really got to bond and get closer.
I'd say knowing that the light was at the end of the tunnel, knowing, okay, I've just got to get through one more year and then we'll graduate and hopefully things will be sort of back to normal by then, or a little more normal.
Did this make you become a better person at all?
COVID really gave me something know that anything could possibly happen in the world. Anything could happen. There's always something, there's a way to get through it.
So just really getting that time to focus on myself instead of just being busy all the time definitely helped me to become a better and stronger person mentally.
I think I gained a stronger sense of compassion because, you kind of get in your own little world and really worry about what's going on with you, and then you get a broader sense of everybody's going through something.
I'd say I came out mentally stronger, physically stronger. I would say that I got a lot closer with my family, and we spent so much more time together.
When you look back on this last year, what are you going to remember the most about it?
You never know what you have until it's gone.
My biggest takeaway was the adaptability.
I know this is cliche, but live every moment that you have to the fullest. Spend the time with your friends.
Forever be grateful for what you have, because you never know when or what will happen, or it could be taken in a matter of a second.
We are so very excited for these seniors to start a new and exciting chapter. Anthony will be going to the University of Oregon. Mackenzie will attend the University of Arizona. Dante will go to Texas State, and Elise will go to Franklin and Marshall College in Pennsylvania. And speaking of college, I also spoke to college seniors who just graduated to see what this past year was like for them. Meet Corinne Baca and Anthony Heath, Jordan Hainsworth, Caleb Caruso from ASU, and Jasmine Landavazo graduated from NAU. All 5 college seniors stopped going to school in person when the pandemic hit in March 2020, and they all finished their last year online.
Senior year was actually one of my favorite and most memorable years. Yeah, it didn't go exactly how I had expected, but I think there was a lot of good that came from it.
And you kind of customize your classes a little different. I could structure my work schedule around that better. And the downside was that you didn't get to socialize with everyone.
I just didn't feel as engaged in the learning, to be honest. It's just hard for me to focus at home with so much going on. But I don't know, there were some cool parts. I did a lot of road trips too.
I did miss out on a lot of classes from my program. We did have a class where it was a wine tasting class. And it doesn't like that. I missed out on
I bet.
I really wish I could have done that, but it was nice to have more flexibility.
I had a similar experience in that I was taking a dance class that I really enjoyed going to, and unfortunately that couldn't continue on.
What do you think you missed out on the most, especially for your senior year? What do you think, Jasmine?
I think I had a lot of professors that I really enjoyed talking to. Down on the campus, just like it feels different when you're there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, just the social energy, right? Was that hard for you too?
Definitely. I think it's safe to say that a lot of us crave a sense of community.
There's something about just getting in your car, like driving to school, like, you know, talking to everyone, and when that gets taken away, I just feel like you're not as engaged in.
If you had to pick one silver lining in all of this, what would it be?
I got more time to myself. I feel like sometimes school can just be really stressful when you have a lot going on, so it allowed us to just like stay home more, relax, and maybe just like think exactly what we want to do in our future.
Yeah, I was quarantining with my family, so I feel like we were, you know, watching movies every night, and it was kind of nice. I feel like we were really close for that period of time. Yeah,
Their babies back home.
Yeah.
Exactly. What do you think, Jasmine? What's the silver lining?
So when everything went remote, I actually decided to move back down here from Flagstaff, so that gave me the opportunity to start looking for my career early on, and I was able to get a really good job.
How many people can say they graduated virtually? Whether I like it or not, or I wanted that, that's kind of how I have to think about it.
And for this group of college grads, they all have jobs related to their degrees. So a big congrats and best of luck to them, as well as the entire class of 2021. Coming up next, as we end this school year and reflect on how far we've come, we'll talk to Arizona's top educator about what she's expecting when students return in the fall. But first, our panel discussion with 4 Valley superintendents and school officials. The surprising lessons learned from the school year unlike any other. Don't go anywhere. The 12 News Class of 2021 special will return in just a moment.
Sometimes it's really hard to just be motivated to like actually get on the Zooms and to do the work, just because I feel like it doesn't even matter. It feels like we're not really learning.
It gets pretty tiring. Obviously, Wi-Fi problems. I don't try to blow off class. I'm just like oversleep sometimes, or I just get caught up doing homework and I forget to log on to another class.
It hasn't been the greatest. There's times where my mental health is worse than other days, but it's gotten better.
I've even heard from teachers about students who traditionally were the most quiet, introverted students who they said were now thriving.
Going to school right now feels like such an experiment.
I've been working 18 years for it, and especially because I'd be like the second one to graduate high school with my family, and it's like very surreal. You don't get to have your last prom, last student assembly.
Nobody's ever been through this before.
It's spared me some of the pain of having to say goodbye to people, but at the same time, it's a weird way to end a teaching career.
Not only has virtual learning impacted students, it's also affected teachers and staff who've had to learn how to pivot and change the way they teach. We reached out to a group of superintendents and school officials to see what this year has been like for them. We gathered Dr. Chad Geston, Superintendent for Phoenix Union High School District, Dr. Betsy Hargrove, Superintendent for Avondale Elementary School District, Nicole Shamblin, Principal of Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School, and Michelle Campuzano, Board Member of the Roosevelt School District. Looking back at this past school year, what was the biggest challenge for your school?
Making sure that students were safe, that they had access to learning opportunity, that they were in a great mental state.
I would agree with Nicole's challenges, and I appreciate the fact that she brought up our entire staff in the sense that making sure that they had all of the resources that they need to literally pivot from in-person instruction to online instruction.
I would add mental health of our staff and our students.
I would say that the pandemic
amplified a lot of the barriers our families faced.
What are you most proud of this past year?
We survived. I'm extremely proud that as a district, we chose to feed anyone in our community. In the first few months, we gave out almost 500,000 meals to the people in our community.
Avondale stayed true to the course of what our mission vision is, which is to grow all children as thinkers, problem solvers, and communicators.
Our teachers last year went from traditional teachers to online teachers and then found out how to come back.
Just seeing students come alive with technology integration and like meaningful learning online.
Dr. Hargrove, tell me the biggest lesson that you learned from all of this.
We truly can do things differently. And so when I think about, the challenges of children maybe participating in after-school programming, we now know that our kids who have to be at home because of transportation issues or family coverage and things such as that actually can engage in National Junior Honor Society or school leadership or various clubs. We can Zoom them right in and they'll have these incredible extended opportunities.
But to think about food service workers and family and community liaisons that do home visits, maintenance staff that are willing to go into classrooms and clean in the middle of a pandemic, and all these roles that when we think about education, we don't necessarily think of. And I'm more grateful than ever for our classified staff.
The need to support our families holistically and really just embrace them and be ready for anything.
It really does take a village to educate and provide a meaningful experience for every student that we serve in the community.
Reflecting on the school year unlike any other is really eye-opening, but now it's time to look ahead. Recently, Team 12's Tricia Hendricks spoke to Arizona's top educator about what the next year might look like.
Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction Kathy Hoffman says while Governor Ducey has the authority to enact a statewide closure,
I was grateful for the opportunity to join him in that announcement just so that we could show a unified front.
but we had no clue it would turn into a year-long roller coaster of ups and downs. Virtual learning presenting plenty of problems, teacher shortages, a drop in enrollment, and the digital divide of technology and access issues.
Not having the infrastructure, especially in our rural communities, many families and even teachers who do not have internet at home.
But there were some success stories at the same time. President of the Arizona Education Association, Joe Thomas, says the determination of teachers played a significant role.
They became creative. They worked longer hours.
Looking ahead to the remainder of the current school year and next year, there's a list of challenges at the top of mind as schools are now required to offer in-person learning.
What educators are thinking about is their classroom safe? We've had some federal funds that have come through, but our schools haven't even known if they've been able to have the protective equipment.
Some of the most important priorities: returning to the classroom safely, protecting the most vulnerable students, and helping educators navigate their rights and responsibilities.
People closest to the students, the classroom teachers, the instructional aides, the nurses, the school bus drivers, we need to be listening to them the most, because they can describe the conditions that our students are in.
Focusing on the mental health of students and staff.
Our students and educators, as well as our families, have endured a lot of significant trauma.
Hoffman even opening up about her own experience with COVID, her brother becoming one of the first to contract the virus.
Thankfully, he made a quick and full recovery.
And in the spring of 2020, she suffered a miscarriage.
And it was extremely emotionally taxing on us.
The recovery from personal struggles and tragedies will require support from counselors and mental health experts, not just now, but for years to come. Despite lingering hurdles, Hoffman says vaccines have been a game changer. They're seeing almost zero transmission within the school communities, proving hope lies ahead.
We've come a long way over the past year, and so I am feeling much more hopeful.
Well, coming up next, overcoming adversity and against all odds, we shine a spotlight on 4 outstanding graduated high school seniors here in the Valley. Plus, we'll look at how one teacher refused to let cancer stop her from being there for her students, and the principal who traveled 800 miles to be there for his graduates. Welcome back. There have been so many inspiring stories from all around the country, including one teacher who decided nothing, not even cancer, would keep her being there for her students. Here's Team 12's Boyd Hubert.
I have 14.
For teacher Kelly Klein, strength is coming from a humble source.
You're at the doctor's house.
21 kindergartners from Falcon Heights Elementary have been accompanying her to chemotherapy. Kelly, wife and mom, first battled ovarian cancer 5 years ago. Cancer came back.
Now that it's returned, it's not curable.
The aim to slow her cancer down.
The last time around, I had a posse of friends that went with me to chemo every week. And with COVID, I can't have that. So what better way to spend 4 or 5 hours than with 5-year-olds?
Your new posse.
Yes, exactly.
Kelly's hair and eyebrows are starting to thin, a topic she'll soon address with her class.
I want them to see that cancer isn't a death sentence. They can know that they can do anything in this world. Maybe they'll invent a cure for cancer. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
And they'll think of you when they do.
I hope so.
Congratulations.
Kelly Klein, teaching while she teaches. Boyd Hubert, NBC News.
Now, Kelly's story was noticed by a local renovating company in Minnesota who gave her a complete home makeover as a thank you for being such a superhero teacher. Next, we want to take you to Texas, where one principal didn't just go the extra mile for the class of 2021. He traveled 800 miles.
Wiley High School might be sitting empty.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to another rendition of the Corona Chronicles.
But that has not stopped Principal Verdi Montgomery from delivering his morning announcements on YouTube.
This day, ladies and gentlemen, will be what you choose to make of it. We are Wiley High School.
It's a comforting virtual connection. Still, this 66-year-old principal was longing for something more personal.
I get emotional real easy with my kids, and I just didn't feel like I was doing enough. So it just seemed like the right thing to do.
Montgomery jumped in his car with a plan to visit every single graduating senior, all 612 of them, a journey that lasted 12 days and spanned more than 800 miles.
It's a treasured memory I'll never forget, and it was more for me than them.
At each stop, he kept a safe social distance while delivering a pocket-sized treat and this cheesy joke.
But one of these days, we're going to look back on this and we're going to snicker at it. And then I would hand a Snicker candy bar to him.
Snickers even tweeted a shout out to Montgomery, who paired each candy bar with a heartfelt note to his students.
I am so sorry this has happened. I can't believe I've not gotten to meet with you. Had to watch you finish this year. I am honored to get to be your principal. I have a very sentimental heart, and they're not tears of sadness. They're tears of joy and fun and pride and love, you know.
Too often, we focus on the 6 feet keeping us apart. Principal Montgomery's story is about the 800 miles bringing us together. Joe Fryer, NBC News.
What a heart he has. Finally, we are shining a spotlight on some graduating seniors across the valley. Of course, there are thousands of incredible stories of perseverance, drive, and success, and we want to share just a few of them with you.
My name is Gianna Alcaraz. I will be graduating from Skyline High School, and I'll be attending ASU this year. I was actually born in the United States, but then my parents moved to Mexico. I arrived to the United States about 5 years ago, just because I wanted a better education and I knew there was something better for me. So, you know, I miss them. I miss my home, my siblings. If I have to give any advice to anyone, is that don't give up. Even though it was my second year here and I didn't know much English, like I struggled to speak or write it. My English teacher, Martha Connolly, she pushed me to take AP Language and Composition. Really appreciate you for that.
You don't know what I have gained from you.
I am very excited to attend ASU because it's like a dream. So I'm hoping that with my career, I can just work to make a change.
My name is Tyja Battle. I'm a senior at Betty H. Fairfax High School. I am graduating this year. Someday I would love to work for NASA. The roles I've had in student government over the years were the class president my freshman and sophomore year, and I was the treasurer of student body. And then this year I ran for student body vice president. Student government has taught me how to be personable, a leader, and just overall communicate with people within my community. Our world needs leaders who will see everything for everyone, not just a certain specified group. For me, the pandemic, I don't want to say ruined, but it did ruin my senior year. I didn't get to see my friends or hang out as I would usually, or getting to see your teachers face to face. I didn't get to play sports, but they're really starting to bring it back. I'm very optimistic and forward-looking, especially because my mother has always been there and always pushed me to achieve the things that she knows I can achieve. And then at some point it just clicked that I needed to start thinking that I can achieve those things, and I really do think I can.
My name is Sylvia Lopez, and I'm graduating from Liberty High School. I begin my day at MET Professional Academy. MET stands for Medicine, Engineering, and Technology, which is at Peoria High School. At my lunch, I drive over to Liberty High School and I do a couple classes there. So I found that the pandemic has helped me really take control over my education and make it mean something to me. I want to be an engineer because ultimately what I want to do with my career is to eliminate waste and create more efficiency within the public education system in Arizona. This year, my project is to assist a 7th grade science teacher at Wigwam Creek Middle School. There were a few things that I would have liked to have about my graduation or my prom or homecoming, but ultimately, I like to focus on the positive. I think that I've learned so much. I'm done being sad about it. I'm ready to move forward and take what I've learned from this experience and hopefully grow even more.
My name is Jenna. I'm a Vietnamese senior at Trevor Brown, where I'll be graduating. Go Bruins! My philosophy about high school is to really pursue your passions. At Trevor Brown, I've been involved in girls basketball, girls badminton teams, the National Honor Society, the Trevor Brown newspaper, DECA, and I'm also an intern for Retail Works Arizona. I'm an ACT tutor. I'm also a peer influencer. My family has never really been financially stable. Up until the 7th grade, my family was in a motel for a little over 2 years. For 3 years, up until my junior year, I took the city bus to and from school every single day, every morning, every night. It was a really big time management struggle. Going to high school during this pandemic has been hard, but at the same time, I am thankful for the memories that I did get to make. Someday, I want to be able to change the world to help students like me, like first-generation low-income students, help them realize that there is possibility in the world. I want to be able to buy my parents a stable home. Everything in my life that has come as a challenge to me, my family life, my academic life, the struggles that I've put myself through with rigorous classes, etc., with extracurriculars, I think that it helps me grow into a better person.
Well, we want to thank you so much for putting your trust in us. And if you missed part of the special or would like to watch it again, visit our YouTube page. That's 12news.com/YouTube. I'm Tram Mai. Thanks for watching.